seated as we are about to begin the next session in another couple of minutes. Thank you. Also to all the people who are sitting behind, well, I think it looks a bit awkward to hear a voice out of nowhere, so I thought I'll just step inside and make myself visible. So all the people who are at the back of the hall, I'm sure, I know that everyone's very comfortable sitting at the back, but as a courtesy act for people who might be delayed or who might be attending something outside, it would be nice for you people to step a bit forward and occupy the front rows, if that's okay. People at the back, may I request you to kindly step a bit more forward and occupy the front rows, as we're expecting a crowd of people, a pool of people to step inside who are having their coffee or tea breaks or whatever, and they will be occupying the rest of the seats. So once again, kindly be seated as soon as possible, because the next session, a lot of interesting ideas and thoughts to take in. I'm sure that everyone had a lovely break. So once again, we'll start the next session in the next couple of minutes. Thank you. All right, everyone. I hope you all had a lovely break along with some Kerala snacks, tea, coffee, and also getting some time to chit-chat about all the interesting sessions that we had during the couple of hours. I hope that all these sessions had been really insightful and knowledgeable, and I'm sure that there's a lot of things to take in. Without any further ado, we are about to start the next session of the day. Before that, my name is Natasha, and I'll be driving this session forward. And once again, a very hearty welcome to the Queen of Arabian Sea, Cochin, and also one of the prestigious events that you're attending here in Cochin, the first IDF Regional Diary Conference, Asia Pacific 2024. Well, ladies and gentlemen, after the first and the session sections, we now have farmer-centric interventions in milk aggregation and ensuring transparency. Like all the sessions, we also have a chair to lead the session, along with a couple of dignitaries as well as the panelists for the panel discussion. Without any further ado, let me take the opportunity to extend a very, very warm welcome to the chair of the session, none other than Dr. Manish Shah, Chairman, National Dairy Development Board, NDDB, and Secretary of INC IDF. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming the chair of this session, Dr. Manish Shah, onto the dais. Welcome, welcome, Doctor. And now to welcome the next dignitaries, let me extend the first welcome to Mr. Engveleng Goching, who is currently elected as the chairman of Dairy Development Board. Ladies and gentlemen, with a good round of applause, let's welcome Mr. Gonching onto the dais to join Dr. Manish. Moving ahead, let me now welcome Mr. Richard Hidalgo onto the dais to join the gentleman on stage. Welcome, Mr. Richard. Now let's welcome Dr. Rupinder Singh Sodhi onto the dais. Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise as we welcome Dr. Rupinder Singh Sodhi. Now it's time to welcome Dr. Neeraj Garg on the stage. Dr. Neeraj, may I request your esteemed presence onto the stage, please. Dr. Neeraj joining everyone. And now it's time to welcome Dr. Suthindra Tati onto the dais. Dr. Suthindra, may I request you to join the gentleman. Along with them, let me also welcome Dr. C.P. Devanand. Let me also welcome Ms. Gargi Pragya onto the dais, the first lady stepping onto the dais for this session. And followed by Ms. Gargi, let's now welcome our panelist, Mr. Asif K. Yusuf, IAS. Mr. Asif K. Yusuf, IAS. May I request Mr. Asif to join the gentleman and the lovely lady onto the dais. Also, Mr. Jagadish M.K. KS, Mr. Jagadish joining them on stage. Well, once again, extending a hearty welcome to all the dignitaries present on stage and off stage. As mentioned, we now start with session 3, farmer-centric interventions in milk aggregation and ensuring transparency. Before moving ahead, let me give a kind information to all the speakers on dais, as we have a allotted speaker time of 10 minutes. So requesting you to stick to the time slots that's given to every speaker. Now, let me introduce the chair of Session 3, Dr. Manish Shah, Chairman, National Dairy Development Board and Secretary of INC IDF. Dr. Manish Shah is the Chairman and Managing Director of National Dairy Development Board of India. He has an illustrious and multifaceted career of more than 38 years in the dairy sector. Dr. Shah is also the Chairman of Mother Dairy, Indian Immunologist, IDMC, NDDB Dairy Services, NDDB Mrinda, NDDB CALF, Institute of Rural Management Anand, IRMA, National Cooperative Dairy Federation of India, National Cooperative Organics Limited, Pristine Biologicals. He has a wide international exposure and is also the member of board of IDF, member secretary of INC of IDF, member of the Standing Committee on Dairy Politics and Economics of IDF. Ladies and gentlemen, I now invite Dr. Manisha to take over the session. Once again, may I request everyone to kindly put your hands together to welcome the chair of the session. Welcome, Dr. Manish.
Thank you and namaskar again to all of you. I hope this is the last session after the fully engaging day. Whole day we started very early. But then I and along with the esteemed speakers, we can assure you that this session also will be as engaging as the earlier ones we had. It's my pleasure to welcome all the speakers here. Mr. Ambling Gonching, Chairman Dairy Development Board of Mongolia. We have a speaker from Philippines, Mr. Richard Hidalgo. We have Dr. Sodi with us, who needs no introduction. We have Mr. Neeraj Garg, Advisor Prompt Innovative Private Limited, and Dr. Sudhindra Tatti, also from the Prompt Innovations. We have Dr. Devanand and Gargi Pragya from NDDB Dairy Services. And we are also joined by Mr. Jagdish, MD KMF, as the panelist. It's my pleasure to welcome all of them and also all the participants in this important session on farmer-centric intervention in milk aggregation and ensuring transparency. In fact, my congratulations to the technical team for selection of this topic and also bringing the focus back on one of the most significant pillars, or rather building block of the dairy industry, that is milk procurement and aggregation. We all know that procurement of fresh milk is the most crucial element of dairy business and is also key for its economic efficiency and sustainability. In our context, I think the small relative size of individual dairy enterprises, fragmented structure of the milk production, and the perishable nature of the milk, all this makes the milk procurement a very, very challenging activity. And the point of a primary milk producer, as well as from the point of the effective distribution linking of production center with the processing center or the marketing places, is very, very important. Dairy cooperatives, as we all know, have played a major role in ensuring this by bringing together the farmers, creating the farmer-owned institutions, and also putting in place necessary village-level milk procurement and the testing infrastructure. We have seen in the schemes, various schemes which we have implemented, Operation Flood or National Dairy Plan, we have been focusing on the transparency and fairness in the transactions for the farmers whenever they give milk to the operators. And in case of producer companies also now very recently, we have, which were promoted under NDP-1, we have developed a comprehensive ICT system, which is first of its kind in our sector, and which is being implemented by the NDDB Dairy Services. Such IT systems have, entrusted us that data regarding the quality of the milk, fat, and SNF of the milk supplied by the producer is transmitted online from the milk pooling point itself to the central server, and based on the member, the payment of the member is directly paid into their bank account. And procuring milk is not enough. We'll have to also ensure that the milk is of good quality. And we have seen that recently we are all placing a lot of importance on improving the quality standards, which are very, very critical in market with the intense competition which is coming from the domestic and international players. I hope that the quality of the milk throughout the procurement cycle we will be able to meet the compliance standards of milk quality. Now we have even the GPS trackers with appropriate environmental factors like temperature, humidity, monitoring, and all these factors we are monitoring, and it will be very, very useful going forward in ensuring the quality of milk beyond the collection point. The use of automated technologies is the growing trend in the dairy sector, and it will be very helpful in improving the safety, quality, and profitability in the milk supply chain. With this background, I would like to invite our learned speakers to present their views on the topic, and we can begin with Mr. Angbling Gonching. I hope I have spelled your name correctly, for his experience sharing in Mongolia. Please welcome.
Good afternoon, dear distinguished guests and ladies and gentlemen. It's my great honor to be here presenting about Mongolian dairy industry to this event. First time I visited in India in 2015, and I visited in Amul cooperatives. During that time, I got a book named I Too Had a Dream, written by Dr. Crane. It's really inspired me, and I used to be CEO of one of dairy processing plant. And then since that, yes, what I focusing on trying to do is to improve Mongolian dairy smallholders and supporting from processing plants. And many of you know about Mongolia, and Mongolia is located in between Russia and China. It's landlocked country, and Mongolia's population is very small compared to India. Its population is just 3.5 million. And in Mongolian dairy industries, the two systems. One is that intensive and semi-intensive dairy farming, and most of dairy farmers are located in central area around in capital city within 300 kilometers. And annual average yield per cow is between 2,000 and 3,000 liters, and the milk supplied to the processing plant is around 100 million liters annually. And another main system is the pastoral nomadic husbandry systems. Almost 170,000 households possesses almost 65 million heads of livestock. Traditionally, in Mongolians have families have sheep, goats, cattle, and horses, and camels even. And yes, and Mongolian dairy industry has several challenges. One of main challenges, the seasonality, that Mongolia has the 4 different seasons. In summertime, the temperature around plus 35, and during the winter time, the temperature reaches in minus 35. So those, and also low yield the cows, and remoteness and lack of cooling infrastructures are main challenges to improve in Mongolian dairy industry. And only that 5-6 main processors are located in the capital city and produces almost 90% of total production. And that purchasers' capacities from 20 tons and 100 tons per day, and all purchasers are well equipped by modern equipment. I would like to highlight three main initiatives in dairy industry in Mongolia. Of course, there are several initiatives has been implemented in the Mongolian dairy industry. One of among the public and private cooperation, one of big initiative is the milk incentive systems. The milk incentive system is implemented in 2018, and the main goal is to support the farmers, households who supply the produce raw milk during the winter time, when it's in the beginning of November to April. That was annual total production during that winter season. It was in 12 million liters, and it has been reached 22 million liters during that season. It was big impact, big positive. The milk incentive system is brought big impact to that household and dairy farmers. Because of subsidy, the households and small semi-intensive farmers expands their operations and their capacities. Yes, and then also it's big engagement to run a dairy farm. Another one is that 2009 there is the amendment to food law, and milk is added one of strategic food. It is big impact. It made big impact to policy makers and government agency. So some of tax breaks has been implemented to the dairy industry. Yeah, another initiative is in cheese production in rural area, because of almost more than 90% of cheese consumption is supplied from import cheese, and there is no big industrial cheese production plant in Mongolia. And last year, one of leading company established in one cheese plant in rural area, and yes, it's the famous three types of cheese have been introduced such as Gouda, cheddar, and mozzarella. And yes, those cheese plant has brought in some positive impacts to the local community, and then small hoarders and farmers who work with the cheese plant, they benefited from this local cheese plant, and their income has been increased, almost doubled, and many more initiatives, impacts to the local community. Third one, yes, this is one of the big impacts to the dairy industry, the food supply and security national movement. Started and then initiated by the President of Mongolia in 2020. This is that very supports the dairy industry. So also that Mongolian Parliament supports that initiatives on some resolutions approved to take some measures to be taken to ensure food supply and security. This is the big package to implement and support the Mongolian food industry. The main goal of food revolution is firstly to reach full self-sufficiency in main food items until 2027. That cheese production and yogurt production is listed to the main food items. Another one is based on capabilities on Mongolian agriculture and agriculture and to build a vibrant and food agriculture export industry. The third one is to secure food safety. Those three are main goal of that big national movements. And yes, Mongolian dairy industry has the big ambitions, and also there are many opportunities in dairy industry in Mongolia. The per capita dairy consumption is continuously increasing, and also it's planned to reach almost more than 300 million liters of meters. And currently, the fresh milk supplied from animal husbandry is almost 50%. And yes, our main goal to increase the food supply industry is almost doubled. So all the stakeholders and smallholders and purchasers, institutions are considering onto the opportunities. So several positive impacts has been observed in this dairy industry. I would like to conclude that in Mongolian government is more considering a lot of about the dairy industry, and several initiatives have been taken. The milk is one of strategic food, and another one is the milk incentive systems continuously increasing, and food revolution movement will make big impact further. And thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Gonching. I think he briefed us on the initiatives of both government and private sectors in Mongolia. Largely it was the milk incentive system which was introduced in the winter months. He also briefed us about the milk, how it is added to the strategic food category. Also highlighted the cheese value chain, how it is developed in the rural areas. And last but not the least, President's food revaluation, the initiative which is aimed at food safety of the citizens. So thank you so much for this insightful session. I now invite Mr. Richard Hidalgo for his experience of Philippines.
Mr. Richard Hidalgo is the General Manager of Vaclav Multipurpose Cooperative and a dairy farmer based in Sambogna del Sur, Philippines. He has been representing dairy farmers and cooperators in various government programs. He is currently the President of the Regional Cluster Organization on Consumers, Marketing, Producers and Logistics, and also the representative of the Regional Cluster Organization on Dairy of Region 9. Welcome, Mr. Richard.
Thank you, and good afternoon to every one of us. I represent my cooperative, the Philippine Family Farmers Agriculture and Fisheries Cooperative Federation, and the Asian Farmers Association for Sustainable Rural Development, or AFA, a network comprising 20 national federations and small-scale farmers like us, and fisheries to the pastoralists, and 16 countries belong to the AFA. This is the dairy farming in the Philippine setting. The dairy sector in the Philippines holds a significant position within the country's agricultural landscape. The dairy farming serves as the vital source of economic and livelihood for many rural communities, contributing to local economies. It plays a key role in the rural development by providing employment and income-generating opportunities, especially in remote and marginalized areas. For only 1 to 2%, milk are by the local farmers and the cooperative produced. The 98% are produced and imported from other countries. Two case agencies oversees and support the dairy sector in the Philippines. the NDA for dairy cattle and goat, and for the Philippine Carnival Center for the water dairy buffalo. And this is our cooperative, Baklay Multipurpose Cooperative. The beginning of our cooperatives is just in Zamboanga del Sur in 2019, with a start of 64 heads, 46 offspring from 2020 to 2024, with engaged farmers of 385, and now the dairy products with 2 to 5 numbers of buffalo dispersal per dairy farmers. So we have the milk supplier from 2019 up to this present. We have engaged with the supplying of milk from deep feeding programs. For the government regulatory compliance, we have Department of Agriculture accredited, CSO accredited, Platinum, PhilGips, FDA Ulto, Halal certificate accredited agricultural and good agricultural practices. For the challenges of our cooperatives, the Philippine dairy water buffalo yields only 3 to 5 liters of milk per day. Lack of forage production and feeding management of the farmers level. Inadequate waste management practices hinder the utilization of dung as an organic fertilizer. And also for the challenges, farmers in the Philippines have limited working capitals, result in the absence of proper dairy equipment and facilities faced by the dairy farmers. Also, inadequate provision of healthcare and limited access to high-quality genetics for high yielding of milk dairy animals. For our strategies, we just strengthening linkages with partners, both local and international government agencies and non-government agencies. Like this, we are so very lucky that through benchmarking, through local and international practitioners engaged in dairy production, and also promoting local initiative through support local and diversified farmers integrated approach. And also we have wise investment, right needs and value for money, continuous education and capacity building for our dairy farmers, especially in milk handling and dairy livestock study, with 14 days mandatory to those farmers who want to engage in dairy production. And also we would like to engage in genetic improvements through partnership, ask for good quality and high yield breed through artificial insemination and bull for natural breeding. All raw milk from the farmers are consolidated by the cooperative and processed and marketed by the cooperative. And also for the cooperative, we have pre-services for our dairy farmers, especially in breeding and applying biologics to dairy animals for the farmers. Then we analyze the dairy practices and the reasoning of patterns of which we are based, and also formulating proposals for improving the services offered to better meet the demand of our producers. So in our place, as we go on for implementing and for the farmers, the young farmers are the because in our place, the average of the age of the farmers are more than 58, so we are encouraging our young farmers to join and collaborate with us to the cooperative so that we can sustain, and especially we are transforming the traditional farmers into a dairy farmers, since our cooperative was only start in 2019 until this present. And I was sent by our Federation Cooperative to deliver the message of our development, and we are happy that I have a lot of people, a lot of technology that we will bring to the Philippines. And that's all, and good afternoon.
Thank you, Mr. Richard Hidalgo. He highlighted how the Bulke Cooperative began its operation in Philippines. Also the challenges of the dairy sector and how the cooperative formulated the strategies to mitigate those challenges. One of the important thing was providing free breeding and biological services to farmers. And I think we were impressed by your last slide, no farmers, no food. So thank you very much. And now it's my pleasure to invite Dr. R.S. Sodi. He will, throw light on the India's smallholders milk collection system and how it can become key to the world leadership. Welcome.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have Dr. Rupinder Singh Sodhi, who is the president of Indian Dairy Association IDA, established in the year 1948, and is apex body of dairy industry professionals. He was previously the managing director of Gujarat Cooperative Milk Marketing Federation Limited, Amul, from 2010 to 23. He has 42 years of rich experience in leading and developing cooperative sector within Indian dairy industry. Welcome, Mr. Dr. Rupinder.
Good afternoon. Thank you very much. After Mongolia and Philippines, let us come to the India. And from the previous speakers, the last course, like Chairman mentioned, no farmers, no food, and no future. Well, this topic, this session's topic on farmer-centric intervention in milk aggregation and ensuring transparency, I think out of that I have chosen this topic of India's smallholders milk collection system. I think this smallholders milk collection system of India is unique. Nowhere in the world you will find such a unique structured collection system, and it has made India, which was a milk deficit country, to the world's largest producer of milk. We know 1960s we got Green Revolution, but that was a borrowed competence. But our White Revolution or Operation Flood is self-conceived, planned, executed, our own competence, which whole world is feeling envy of that. And this India's system of smallholders aggregation, it can be replicated in all the Asian and African countries, especially the developing countries. And this also shows how the center of the world dairy is shifting from the dairy-rich countries in Europe or America to this part of the world. And this also tells us to become a dairy-rich or you don't need lot of thousands of acres of pastures and other things. What you need is two hands to work, very, very favorable government policy, very good structure, and definitely a very, very dedicated leadership. So further coming, this is my thing. I've got 10 minutes, already 2 minutes are getting over. I mean, India's smallholder systems, these are two main characters, crossbred cow and the buffalo. They are the heroes, and that is why today we are the world's largest. I think people sitting out, they know that 24% of world milk production we are there, and gap between us and the number 2 is increasing day by day. And we are lucky, we are self-sufficient, but surrounded by the milk deficit countries. And the one reason for this, our growth or whatever self-sufficient is, farmers are getting 70 to 80%. And this shows that if you give respectable share of consumer rupee to the farmers. You don't need to teach them how to produce, they'll produce it. And all over the world, basically, dairy is in the hand of the smallholder farmers, you can see. And India, if you see last 50 years history, whatever in agriculture growth we have achieved, around 3 times in total, the 1/4 of agriculture growth has come, you can see the last column, has come from only in dairy. And if you see production-wise, about 50 years back, dairy was contributing only 10% of the total agricultural production. Today is 24 or 1/4 of that. And same is true for the consumption. If you see the consumption, recently released the per capita monthly expense, out of the 3,800 rupees of rural and 6,500 rupees of urban, milk and milk product is more than the total dal, roti and sabji, pulses, bread and sugar put together. And if you see out of the total food consumption, milk is the biggest category, around 18 to 20% is spent on the milk. And other animal husbandry products are equally important, and the fruits and vegetables. These are the main category in this, which are the growing category in India as far as food is concerned. But this is a very interesting graph, and I think we are the dairy industry must see. If you see, divide India into 2 parts, one side Bihar, other side Karnataka. If you draw a line, these are the states which are good in milk production because they are mainly dependent on vegetarian food, less of meat. But if you go right side, these are the states right from, you can say, northeast to West Bengal down to Kerala, where we are sitting. Here, spend on meat is more than the milk products. And so is you'll see the milk production and organized milk category. I mean, this graph, everybody knows that how in 50 years, we were 1/3 of USA, 1/8 of Europe, and today we are world largest producer of the milk. I mean, this graph you all have seen, how from 6% of the world milk production to the 24% of world milk production is contributed by India. And the way we are growing, another 25 years, that is 2046, we'll be contributing 45% of milk production, and all by the small farmers, smallholder farmers. And this world leadership, which we have got today, thankfully, I mean, still a lot to be done. Out of the total milk produced around 630 million liter, 140 million liter is only coming the organized sector. And I can say in today, India, what cooperative sectors are created, private sector is also following it. I mean, growth-wise, somebody say cooperatives are growing more faster, somebody say private, but today cooperatives are contributing around 55% of organized sector. And if you see how over last 50 years, the smallholder aggregation system, what achievement they have got. I mean, 50 years back, each Indian was only able to drink half glass of milk. 25 years back, 1 glass of milk. Today we are able to afford 2 glasses of milk. And the way we are increasing another 25 years, we will be able to afford 4 glasses of milk. And all by our 300 million cattle and buffaloes, you can say. And 47% milk is contributed by the buffalo, 53% by the cow. And out of that, 30% is by the exotic or crossbred cow. And in India, when you say smallholder system, 80 million are the households. And how did India succeed so spectacularly? I think the credit should go to our structure, which we all know about, Amul model, where farmers own the whole supply chain, aggregation, processing, and marketing under their brand. I'll not talk much about this because time is less. The village cooperative society and how milk is coming to the collection system. Technologically, it is quality is checked, payment is done, and the payment is made. District unions are processing it, and that state federation is marketed under common brand name. And this has been followed across all India. And you, after me, you listen to the Karnataka, you'll also listen to the Kerala. And all these smallholder farmers has been done because innovation and digitalization. I think these, when you have got small holders collection system, you need speed, you need transparency, and you need efficiency. That can come with innovation and the digitalization. I don't have much time. I just read tomorrow, Amit Vyas, the managing director of Amul Delhi, will be talking a lot of innovation. I think I'll skip those areas, and he'll going to talk more on that. Okay, Amit? Because there are certain slides from your presentation only. What is the app transparency in the sector only, and how payment is daily made to the farmer through. अभी हो गया time इतनी जल्दी? I need 2 minutes. Okay. देखिए ये तो इसलिए मैं skip कर रहा हूँ, but there are important slides I must talk. You see what corporate has done, private sector is also following. You can see that India's biggest private sector, Hudson, they collect around 41 lakh liters of milk, around 10,800 village cooperative society, and more or less they are following the same system. And they are investing a lot in providing the green fodder, because green fodder is giving the cheapest crude protein. 1/10 of the price of the cattle feeder sector. Same if you see in case of from south to north, Gyan Dairy, which is around 7 lakh liters, more or less they also started following the same aggregation system, testing system, and involving the farmers. Now, what are the reasons for success? We all know what are the reasons for success is the supply chain owned by the farmers, linking aggregation to the market, a very, very transparent and efficient aggregation method of milk collection, and it's a source of livelihood for 80 million people, integration of technology, etc. But I like to, if Chairman sir, you give me 3 minutes more, I want to present. Okay. One topic is sustain. I should ask 5 minutes. You see, everybody, any session, anything sustainability people talk. And let me tell you, India's smallholders milk production collection system is the most sustainable. If you see per capita emission, India is one of the lowest, 1/10 of other developed countries. And let me tell you, time has come here when we need to divide emission for luxury and emission for livelihood, and see how to control emission for the luxury. In India, basically smallholder system, one side it is providing nutrition to more than 1.42 billion people through around 1 million retailers. The other side it is providing to the 80 million livelihood. But India's milk aggregation system, one side you see whatever grains are produced from our all the crops, it is going for the nutrition of the 1.42 billion. And whatever roughage which human being cannot eat is going for the feeding of the animal. And after feeding the animal, whatever milk is produced, it is again going for the human nutrition. And whatever dung is coming, I mean, it is going as a biofertilizer, it is going for the biogas, it is going for the cooking purpose also. So very, very efficient disposal of dung, and very, very efficient disposal of roughage. And no doubt, our emission is 3 times more than the dairy-rich country. Around, you can say in India is around 4.2 kg vis-a-vis 1.3, 1.5, 3 times more. But if we increase the productivity, it will become half or 1/3 of that. But let me tell you, interpretation of sustainability, everybody is interpreting in own way. If you ask our farmer what is sustainability, they say livelihood. If you ask the government, they say, or policymaker, for them, sustainability is basically food security and employment. You ask any entrepreneur, sustainability means bottom line of profitability. But unfortunately, today's sustainability, what has been 100% hijacked by the environmentalist only. Nobody asks the consumer of our house lady what sustainability means to her. For her, sustainability means getting good food product, nutritious, tasty product at affordable price. So I can say for India, sustainability, or for any developing country, sustainability starts when stomach is full. So sustainability for livelihood and sustainability for luxury needs to be separated. And lastly, I'll tell about the opportunity challenges. India, sky is the limit. In next 7 years, we expect around 20 billion investment, and around 1.2 million jobs per annum. There are a lot of challenges for smallholder. I'll talk only, the first is the second one. First, low interest on next. Food inflation control versus food farmers prosperity. What happens in India? I mean, you see, if nobody wants that farmers' income should grow more than 7, 8% or 5%, because then it is called food inflation. Everybody wants to go, but if farmers' income is going, it is called food inflation. All policymakers, all government do not want farmers' income to be increased. I read just day before, RBI is very much concerned that food inflation is not going down. What policies to be taken? Rather, we should feel happy that food inflation means farmers' income is increasing. What is required? Why everybody wants to keep, just finishing. Everybody wants to control the food prices so wages can be lowered. They have to pay less wages so that industries can earn more. So if you increase the food prices, wages need to be increased, industry profitability be set. So overall, I can say in India, where 68% people are dependent on in the rural India for their income, smallholders have got the future. If you want India to grow, if you want Indian 1.42 billion people to get their food in the future also, so we have to see how the smallholder system can become more sustainable, more affordable, and their income can be increased. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Sodi. No. So I'm not repeating what he told, but I think some of the important points which we noted was the innovation and digitalization, how it is helping the milk value chain, how the cooperative and private sectors help the farmers, and the reasons for success, and last, the sustainability. Now, I invite the next speaker, Dr. Sudhinda Tatti, and then you also. Then Dr. Neeraj Garg.
Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Sudhindra Tati has over 25 years of experience in the semiconductor industry in the US and Asia, covering new products development, quality, commercialization of new technologies. He's currently the co-founder and CEO of Prompt Innovations. He's in charge of innovation and facilitating collaboration with strategic partners. Welcome, Dr. Sudhindra.
Thank you. Good evening. So I'm going to talk about a technocentric innovation that can impact the several parameters of milk aggregation, particularly how it can impact three things: quality of milk, which we talked about, how it can impact the livelihood of farmers, and how it can impact even the environment or the sustainability. And I want to show you how these need not necessarily be in conflict with each other. I think there are ways in which we can do that. First of all, I represent Prompt, which is an Ahmedabad-based company, where our motto is pursuit of purity. And what that means is that whatever we do at Prompt in terms of our products and services, we want to ensure that the quality of the milk and the purity of the milk is retained at every step as it goes from the udder of a cow all the way to the consumer. Our vision is to transform the dairy industry by substantially improving the lives of those involved in the dairy supply chain. And basically how we do that is through our innovative products and services that make sure that there is transparency, affordability, and efficiency in the system. I think both
No, I think please focus on the topic which is given,
yes.
not on the corporate presentation,
Sure.
please.
Okay, sure. So let me tell you where the current situation is. Dr. Sodi mentioned about how we are a country of distributed farmers, smallholder dairy farmers, all adding up to becoming a world's largest dairy. And so typically in the morning, millions of farmers are milk, producing milk, taking it to the nearest village collection center. And the journey is basically millions of farmers to lakhs of collection centers. And then there is a vehicle in the morning, a bolero type vehicle, which carries 40 cans of milk, collects them and takes it to the nearest chilling plant, which could either be a BMC or a chilling plant. Now, the fact that these farmers are producing 3 to 30 liters of milk, very small volumes, and it is happening in conditions of 30 to 45 degrees centigrade temperatures. These are the two factors which are at the heart of the quality challenge that we have in India. How? I'll show you because it is this 3 hours journey which is causing the bacterial growth exponentially in the milk. And it is very important that if we can chill the milk as early as possible, then we can retain the quality by arresting the bacterial growth. To address this challenge, Prompt developed a product called Milko-Chill, which is an instant milk chiller. It essentially allows small volumes of milk to be chilled in rural setups with even single-phase electricity. Before I talk about the product, I'll just show a short video of how that works. So the Milko-Chill is a single-phase electricity-based powered machine. The farmers simply pour milk in the collector, and instantly the milk comes out at the bottom as cold milk. The reason why we need to chill the milk so early is because, as I mentioned, it's the exponential growth that is causing the bacterial growth. And in order to do that as early as possible, we have developed this Milko-Chill machine. This is what a Milko-Chill machine looks like. It has currently 4 main components: the cooling unit, which is the thermal storage, as well as a heat transfer unit; the heat recovery unit, which recovers the compressor's waste heat and used for generating hot water, which is used for CIP. And we also have inbuilt data logger, which allows for remote monitoring of the entire machine as well as the parameters, so that remotely we can tell what is the performance of the machine, what is the temperature of the milk, and so forth. Initially, we developed it as a 500 liters per day model, but then we slowly realized that about 85% of the collection centers across the country, if you ignore the large collection centers and the large dairies of Gujarat, majority of the collection centers across the country are very small volume milk collection centers, mostly around 200 liters or less. And hence we developed a smaller model of 160 liters. The key features are that it's instantly chilling the milk so that you don't have to wait. It chills 250 liters of milk in an hour. And the cold milk can then instantly be transported to the nearest chilling plant, and that's how you retain the quality. The key feature here is that it's one of the lowest compressor-based machines, very high efficiency. And so it runs on such a low capacity compressor that it is easily possible to run this on solar. And so models are available both as solar as well as non-solar. So how do we envision this technocentric intervention? How do we intend to change the current scenario versus what we are proposing here? What we are proposing is simply that each of the milk collection centers in rural areas become a solar, or also have a solar-powered Milko-Chill. It could be a 500 liter per day machine, or it could be a smaller model. It could be solar or off-grid, but in most of the places that we have now traveled and installed these machines, we realize that both volume as well as energy are a challenge, and hence solar power really affects or makes it easy for the farmers to chill the milk. And once the milk is chilled, then the transport can happen in regular vans. in order to take care of the second leg of the relay race, we are also coming up with insulated cans so that once the milk is chilled. Okay, sorry. So anyway, the key impact that we want to show, and this is one graph that probably speaks for everything. This is the real data that is available from a union in Panchmahal, where you can see that the unchilled milk versus chilled milk, there is almost a 3x improvement in MBRT. And my final submission would be that if we are going to talk about improving the quality of our milk, giving more incentives to the farmers, then giving more incentive for higher quality milk, which is measured in terms of bacterial count as well as MBRT, will significantly improve the livelihoods of the farmers. So, thank you.
We'll conclude after you finish. Yeah, so Mr. Neeraj Garg, please.
Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Neeraj is a graduate in dairy technology from NDRI Karnal with post-graduation in management from IRMA Anand. He has led complex, large-scale, diverse projects across the entire spectrum of dairy supply chain. He has worked as IT head for Amul, driving large-scale IT integration of the entire cow-to-consumer supply chain on a single unified platform. Welcome, Dr. Neeraj.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you, everyone, and good afternoon. I'll talk about how digitalization is helping the entire supply chain. We know the supply chain, Sudhi sir has talked about a lot, a fragmented supply chain where we have a small producer, a large number of producers, and therefore the mechanism of digitalization, which normally happens with a large farm, do not work. We need a different approach altogether. So if you really look at if there are options and possibilities to digitalize the entire supply chain, route from cow to the consumer on a single unified system. And the entire system works in unison. This system is intelligent enough to trace and track all abnormalities and provide a real-time updates. And this can be done at scale. So if you look at in one single chain, we have connected more than 68,000 villages, 4.5 million farmers, and more than 30 million of milk processing per day. If you talk of a farm level, we have technologies which starts from cow, monitoring cow, linked with a daily milk production, health conditions of the cow, as well as integrated systems which provide on-the-call service, the entire service management. You can ask for the service online, and the service can be delivered in no time with entire traceability, as well as other digital systems which help to provide these services efficient, effective, and very, very cost effective. When you move forward to a collection station, that's where the maximum magic happens. You require a very, very high processing speed, a transparency, so that farmer is assured of right price, right quantity, and in real time. So the kind of processes now we have takes care of that, which provide instant responses also on a mobile application as well as messages, and a capability of processing more than 25,000 transactions per minute. These integrated systems provide data and picks up data from all different elements, process it at real time, and provide in a real-time manner actionable alerts which prevents all kind of malpractices and ensure right quantity and price for the farmer. Similarly, when you move forward in a dairy supply chain, on a typical procurement supply chain, there is a system which picks up a sample from a multiple bulk coolers along with the right quantity, quality in an anonymous manner so that no tampering can happen, and ensures that your entire milk collections happen seamlessly integrated and linked with the previous versions. Going forward, in your market side, you have an entire supply chain automation solutions which identifies a crate or a packing unit uniquely, link it with the product, and trace this across the entire chain, right from your dispatch dock, your market, as well as when you get it back. So instead of talking about number of crates or number of packets, you can talk about specific crates or specific packages.
Expedite.
And
Neeraj.
which takes care of this.
Please.
That's all. So if you really look at integrating the entire supply chain on a single platform helps farmer get a bit better price from the previous one. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Minister.
Thank you, Dr. Tati and Neeraj. I think we had insightful sessions on presentation on how milk is transported to processing plants, what are the quality challenges, and how the quick chilling of milk is important to improve the quality of milk, and we have seen some data on MBRT. We also had, the highlights of milk supply chain, digitalization, how the entire value chain, cow to consumer, can be, digitalized on a single platform, and for the real-time updates for the processors. So thank you, both of you. And the last presentation we have is from Dr. C.P. Devanand and Ms. Gargi Pragya. Welcome.
Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. C.P. Devanand, an alumnus of the College of Veterinary and Animal Sciences in Kerala, brings a profound understanding of the challenges faced by dairy farmers. He has spearheaded work in productivity enhancement services and animal reproductive technologies. As the Managing Director of NDDB Dairy Services, Dr. Devanand continues to champion the cause of small and marginal dairy farmers.
Thank you. Good evening. This presentation on the milk producer company experience, we have divided into two sections. One is about the genesis of the milk producer companies and the journey this far. And the second part is on some sustainability work that we have taken up as an organization, which will be presented by my colleague, Ms. Gargi. Both of us come from NDDB Dairy Services, and this is an organization that works for providing responsible and sustainable value growth for the dairy producers. Now, to set the context, much has been spoken about the work that has been done by cooperatives. And truly, the cooperatives have done an incredible work as far as providing forward linkage to the dairy farmers in some 200,000 villages in the country, which is roughly about 30% of the total villages in the country. But despite this, there's still a significant part which is covered by the unorganized sector. Now, picture, if you can, this scenario. If this situation continues unabated, India's dairy sector will remain on fragile foundations and will always shall remain inequitable. So an alternative strategy is therefore required to complement the work done by the cooperatives, especially in areas where they have minimal presence. The seed for this thought was actually sown some 3 decades back, when it was felt that many more member-controlled and many more member-owned organizations are required that will offer the farmers the best path to a better life. And accordingly, after a lot of efforts, a legislation was passed in the year 2002 to facilitate setting up of producer-owned institutions, which combine the ideological and the institutional strengths of a cooperative and the flexibility and the autonomy of a company. In other words, the heart and soul of a cooperative and the flexibility of a company. And thus the first milk producer organization that was facilitated by us was set up in May 2012 in Jaipur in Rajasthan. And thereafter we have set up 21 more producer companies across India, 10 states of India covering some 25,000 villages. To implement any farmer-centric operation, we need to have an ecosystem that provides responsible oversight, ensure efficiencies, and also protects the institution. Now, in the ecosystem that we have created, there are three key players: the milk producer companies, Mother Dairy, which is another subsidiary of NDDB, and NDDB Dairy Services. And the three of us have played a symbiotic role to provide end-to-end solution to the dairy farmers' requirement while playing to our respective strengths. NDDB Dairy Services conceptualized the basic framework of the milk producer companies. We set them up and we strengthened them and mobilized the funds for doing all this, and funds to the tune of nearly $155 million US was mobilized for this purpose. Mother Dairy played its role as a consistent and reliable purchaser of milk from the producer companies at a very remunerative price. And payment of around $5.1 billion US has been paid to the members of the producer company over the last 10 to 12 years, which roughly translates to around 85% of the sales realization. The milk producer companies have played its part of translating our vision into reality by establishing direct connect with more than 10 lakh dairy farmers across 10 states of the country and connecting them in some 25,000 villages. And out of these 10 lakh farmers, around 74% of them are women, and around 61% are smallholders. Women-led development has always been a key priority in the producer companies. And we have around 175 women producer directors, and out of that, 133 are women, and 17 of the 22 chairpersons are women. Now, the key pillars of the ecosystem that we have put in place is transparency, digitalization, institution building, and governance. We have around, as I said, we have around 25,000 milk collection points, and each of this is fully automated in the sense that the farmers get real-time information about the volume of milk that he has poured, the quality, and the price details. And out of the $155 million that I said we invested, roughly around 80 million has been for creating this village-level infrastructure. Direct bank transfer to the bank accounts of the producer members, we started this in December 2015, even much before it was made mandatory by the government of India. And timely milk payment by Mother Dairy to the producer members. What it has resulted in is the various banks in the country disbursing loans to the tune of around $22 million over the last 5 years to the producer members to meet their various requirements like purchase of animals, purchase of farm machinery, educational loans, etc. Now, all this would not have been possible if we had not the member-wise database available with us, for which we invested another $5 million. And the IT infrastructure that we have created now handles around 50 million transactions on a monthly basis. Trust is one of the most cost-effective ways to manage an organization. And for building trust and faith in the system, you need to have a very clear communication channel. And in each of these 25,000 villages, we have village contact groups which convey to the farmer members important decisions taken in the board, the progress of the company, and also convey back to the chief executive the problems and concerns of the producer members. And they, in fact, act as an ambassador for the milk producer companies. Another discerning feature in the board of the MPC is the class-based representation. So the farmer members are divided into A, B, C classes based on the volume of the milk and the consistency of pouring. And each of this class has got a representation on the board of the MPCs. Now, we have had reasonable success as far as the concept of milk producer companies as an alternative strategy to complement the work done by the cooperatives. But we understand and realize that we have to be aware and vigilant about the potential pitfalls to ensure their continued success. Well, we have been able to put in place a governance system which is so far delivered, identifying potential leaders who take accountability and responsibility for the outcome of the decisions that they take is a challenge for the milk producer companies. Another area is identifying good professional managers, because for creating enduring institutions, you need to position and retain good managers. So this is also a challenge. But we are trying to address this problem by, we have established a capability development resource center where a variety of training programs are being conducted to equip the potential leaders and the managers with the required skills. Now, the country is resource scarce, so we'll have to improve productivity without increasing the headcount. And this would mean that some part of the small and marginal farmers would have to become entrepreneurs. And a lot of training is now being imparted to the farmer members to change their mindset from sustenance to profitability and from survival to innovation. And for this, we feel that democratization of dairy knowledge is very important. That's another area that we are working so that the farmers get the option to choose friendly technologies and tools to improve productivity and also bring in sustenance in animal husbandry practices. Now, the most important of all is the move towards climate change and sustainability and sustainable dairying. And this is important because we cannot let the decisions that we take today jeopardize the future ecosystem. So sustainability is no longer an option, but a requirement for the future. And this we need to have to build a resilient and thriving dairy industry. As an organization, we have taken some small steps towards this objective. And I'll request my colleague, Ms. Gage, to share these interventions with the House. Thank you.
With the permission of the chair, sir, I'll take just a couple of more minutes. And that will be beneficial for the chair and the audience too.
Sure.
Thank you, sir. As we know, growing environmental concerns and unpredictable weather patterns in the area of our operations have made smallholder dairy farmers vulnerable to the impacts of climate change. Therefore, it became necessary to plan for sustainable dairy development that ensures optimum utilization of local resources. Let me take you through some of the interventions undertaken by NDS towards sustainable dairy farming. I'll skip this slide since we have dealt with a lot of challenges of the smallholders. To start with the waste management, we have so far installed 700 biogas plants, and we aim to reach another 25,000 in the coming next 5 years. We also piloted a slurry processing plant in Uttar Pradesh with the objective of organic manure production, managing waste, and enhance soil fertility. We are planning to triple the capacity of processing in the next 3-4 years by adding 2 to 3 more slurry plants. Moving towards quality feed and fodder, it is estimated that by 2050, there will be a deficit of green fodder by around 22% and in dry fodder by around 15%. As a step towards addressing the estimated shortage, we established 12 fodder FPOs. These FPOs are managing around 800 acres of land for fodder production and are selling over 2,000 metric tons of fodder. NDS has taken an aggressive target to expand the land area under cultivation of fodder to around 5,000 acres in the next 5 years. We also plan to create certified green fodder seed banks to provide easy access to quality seeds for our dairy farmers. Parallelly, we also experimented with the use of hydroponics and azolla as an alternative source of fodder in the water-scarce regions. Moving forward, in the field of clean energy, we have 25,000 electronically testing machines that completely run on solar. We also plan to cover all our chilling plants to run completely on solar in the next 5 years. The last but not the least, in water conservation, we observe that in some areas that we work in, particularly in the western part of India, they suffer through acute water shortages. And to address this, we plan to construct percolation tanks and trenches in partnerships with startups. And in addition to all the above interventions, we are also going to develop climate smart villages in 2 of our producer institutions that will act as sustainable models. In the end, I would like to say that sustainability lies at the core of dairy industry's success, and an integrated approach is required to meet the current and future challenges in sustainable dairy farming. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Devanand and Gagi. I think they have taken us to the milk producer company's journey, how it is empowering dairy farmers and transforming the livelihoods, and how it is a complementary work of the cooperatives in the areas where they are not very strong. Some of the points, important points we noted was the women-managed producer organizations, women-led development, adoption of the digital technology, and also managing the climate and moving towards sustainability. So thank you both. We also have Mr. Jagdish, the Managing Director of KMF, apart from the speakers what we have, and I request him to share some of his views.
Mr. Jagdish MK, Managing Director of Karnataka Milk Marketing Federation, Nandini.
Good evening all. I think much have been spoken about transparency in milk collection and aggregation. With the result of this, I would like to say that Karnataka Milk Federation has crossed 1 crore lakh kgs of procurement. 1 crore. We have touched 1 crore already. So let me understand who is a real farmer. Farmer is a centric approach, but we have to categorize what farmers we are catering to. If you see, small and marginal farmers are more in number. Almost 80% of the farmers are having small and marginal holdings. It means that they are having 1 to 2 kettles per farmer, and they always contribute 1 to 10 liters of milk. That means if you say in among 1 crore liter of milk procurement, what we do in the Karnataka Milk Federation, from 27 lakh farmers, from 16,000 milk societies, we have 70% are 1 to 10 liters milk pourers, and rest 20% are 10 to 20 liters, and then again the number goes on decreasing. That means we have more people who are less and marginal. So in order to cater to them, what is the plan we have from the Karnataka Milk Federation? I would like to brief it up. See, for example, first we have a different categories. We have breeding, feeding, and selling of the milk, whatever it is poured for the societies. So regarding the breeding programs, we want to ensure that farmers get 1 calf per year, that to a female born calf. That means we are moving ahead with sex-sorted semens. That is, we are aggressively moving ahead, and we would like to subsidize that also to the farmers. This year we have planned 5 lakh artificial inseminations only for sex-sorted semen, such that farmers ensures that female calf is born for the farmer. That is one thing. Second thing, we have a inbuilt feed production units. We almost supply 75,000 metric tons of feeds per month to the farmers. That means it is at a subsidized price. Even the price hikes or price comes down, we don't increase the price. We deliver it to their doorsteps at an affordable price. That also we are doing. And the third important thing is the veterinary services we offer. Veterinary services include a basket of services wherein our doctors, our team work 24/7. We do deliver services at less than 40 rupees per checkup, and we give medicines at free of cost. That is the credibility of the KMF. And if you see, we have a lot of vaccination programs. We see, because small and marginal farmers, you need to keep animal health in a good condition, because it is a livelihood for him. So that is more important for us. And we supply the vaccinations. Almost FMD vaccination is done by the assistance of the Government of India as well as Government of Karnataka. It's a free vaccination program. And HS and BQ, hemorrhagic septomania, that we do once in a year. That with the nominal charge, with 25 rupees, we do that. And theileria vaccination once in a year we do. That is completely done by the KMF. And FMD vaccination we do, that is once in a year from the Government of Karnataka. And deworming that we do from our side only. This is to keep a animal health. And more importantly, cattle insurance has to be done for the farmer, because untoward incidents happen, you lose a cattle itself. So for that, 125 crores is been spent by KMF and its unions. And out of that, 50% is contributed by the unions, 25% from the farmers, and 25% we have a trust where the profits out of milk is being deposited in the trust and trust will share. That means minimum costing has to be borne by the farmer, rest all will be taken care by the system itself. So that is why we have generated. And I believe giving a right price is very important with the farmers for the milk imports. We are introducing the NDDB based online milk collection software. So that is getting implemented in Government of Karnataka, wherein we are eliminating the manual entry at the DCS level. The farmer will be assured with right quality and quantity of the milk and also for the right price what the milk imports. And apart from this, we just thinking about the dairying as one unit. The farming is not about dairying. Farming is also about agriculture. That means agriculture, we have to give trust for the agriculture also. As a responsible institution, we have constituted 15 fodder producing organizations in assistance with the NDDB. So what are we going to do with that? You know, as the area is shrinking down in the rural areas and urbanization is becoming more and more prominent, the availability of green fodder is a major constraint for the dairying industry. So for that, this year we want to engage with the farmers for almost 3 successive, that means once we made an agreement with the farmer, we engage him for throughout the year. That means we don't, stop it at one season. It's not Kharif, it's Rabi for the entire season. We enter into an agreement with farmers. We directly take the produce from the field and we wanted to make baled silages out of it. This year we want to produce 15,000 tons of baled silages and we are already in the process of entering agreement with the farmers, which means that apart from dairying, we are assuring one more income guarantee to the farmers at the grassroots level, and that we are going very much ahead with that. And apart from this also, we produce a cattle feed. For cattle feed, the important raw material is the maize. So maize cultivation in Karnataka is also very prominent in major areas of Karnataka. So we are encouraging farmers to give directly to the KMF through the fruit ID. And this year we have procured more than 5,000 metric tons of maize directly from the farmers. It means whatever the minimum support price fixed by the government, we have increased that minimum support price. Last year it was 2,090 rupees per quintal. We have added 160 rupees additional to that, and we paid 2,250 rupees for the farmers, which directly goes into the bank account of the farmers. So it is like we are encouraging farmers to have an alternative livelihood option also apart from dairying. Dairying is one option, yes, they have. If they produce more, then we are creating more revenue for farmers. That KMF is with you, that you can sell all your products to the KMF also, agriculture produce to the KMF also. So apart from this, we have a government support system is very good in Karnataka. We are giving 5 rupees incentive for every liter of milk procured from the farmers. So additionally, apart from this, if the farmer-centric approach has to be adopted, we need to give him for example, if a son goes to a school, his nutritional stability, his nutritional guarantee has to be assured. For that, we have a program called Kshira Bhagya, wherein 160 ml of milk will be given in schools, and we are catering to 1 crore children every day. That means we all across schools, Anganwadis, we are giving a milk. That means it is assuring nutritional stability of the children of the farmers. So these are all the new initiatives we have taken, and thank you for the time. Much to speak, but already much have been spoken. So I believe that Karnataka Milk Federation is with the farmers, and every day we almost transfer 29 crores of money to the farmers, and hope this issue continues and more income to be generated. I wish this conference makes it more important that farmer is to be given a prime importance. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Jagdish. I think he highlighted how KMF is providing various input services, right from this sex-sorted semen, the various silage and other green fodder services to farmers, the vaccination and the animal health services being provided to farmers, and how it is helping Karnataka to increase the milk production and thereby KMF procuring more milk. So thank you. I think with this we will end the session. We have no time to take the questions, but I request you to speak to the speakers individually when they go out. We have to prepare this hall for the cultural program. So my apologies. We will not be able to take any questions. Thank you very much. After the full engaging day today, I hope that you will enjoy the sessions for the tomorrow also. Thank you.
Sure. Well, thank you, everyone. I hope that has been another insightful session, just like the previous sessions. Again, lots of information, lots of new and exciting things are happening in the sector. Before we wind up and move ahead with the rest of the entertainments for the evening, ladies and gentlemen, it's now time to honor all the dignitaries on stage for their valuable contributions, not just for today, but what they have been doing over the last couple of months or years in the sector. May I request the chair of the session, Dr. Manish Shah, to give the mementos to all our speakers who have been here with us all this time, sharing their valuable insights and also letting us taste a bit of their wisdom as well. May I request the chair of the session, Dr. Manish Shah, to honor all the dignitaries, starting with Mr. Gonching, who has come all the way from Mongolia and who has been working to improve and enhance Mongolia's dairy scenario, aiming to increase domestic production and reduce reliance on imported milk products. He's also the member of the Mongolian Food Association Board. Next, may I request him to hand over the memento to Mr. Richard Hidalgo, who is the General Manager of Backley Multi-Purpose Cooperative. It's now time to show our love to Dr. Rupinder Singh Sodhi. Next, we have a token of our love and gratitude being delivered to Dr. Rupinder Singh Sodhi. And now, Dr. Manisha, may I request you to kindly honor our next dignitary, Dr. Suthindra Tati, who is currently the co-founder and CEO of Prompt Innovations. It was indeed a pleasure to have all these dignitaries with us today. What an incredible insight, what an incredible story sharing, not just about the success, but also dreams for the future as we plan a sustainable future ahead for India and the rest of the world in terms of dairy production. And now, it's time to show our love and respect to Dr. Neeraj Garg. May I request him to step forward and kindly accept the symbol of love and our small token of gratitude for being here with us today. Moving on, let me now invite Dr. C.P. Devanand. Again, it's indeed a proud moment for all of us present here to be witnessing these dignitaries stepping up on the dais, speaking to us from their hearts and sharing all their dreams, all their innovative ideas. And now it's time to honor Ms. Gargi Pragya. Again, a wonderful lady here amongst all these gentlemen, and we thank her for her insights as well. And again, let me welcome Mr. Jagadish MK for kindly joining us as the panelist for the session today. Well, now the chair of the session, who has been doing a fantastic job of moderating and giving us and sharing us all his insights. Now it's time to show some love to him as well. May I request Dr. R.O. Gupta, Senior General Manager of Productivity Enhancement, NDDB, to kindly step up onto dais and give a memento as a token of our gratitude and love for being with us through this entire session to Dr. Ninesh Shah, Chairman of National Data Development Board. Dr. Ninesh, it was indeed an absolute pleasure to have you with us today. Well, I hope you dignitaries have fallen in love with all these iconic things that we have from Cochin. And with this, we come to the end of our session 3, milk aggregation and testing. A small token of information to everyone present here. You have a chance to visit the startup exhibition at the Grand Saloon on the first floor of Grand Hyatt. We have about 17 companies who have put up their stalls related to animal health, dairy products and fodder up there at the startup exhibition. So kindly do not miss the opportunity. If there are people who are interested to know more about what's happening in the startup sector, in the dairy industry related to animal health, dairy products and fodder, please make your way to the first floor, Grand Saloon, where we have about 17 companies at the startup exhibition. If you have any questions about making it to the way there, I'm sure that there's a lot of representatives who have their tags from IDF to help you answer your questions, so lead you in the right direction. Again, it's at the Grand Saloon on the first floor of Grand Hyatt Cochin. Thank you so much, everyone. With this, we mark the close to session 3. Thank you.